Hello everybody and welcome to Online Math 8 for Rough Math, 8th grade math online course description here. And for Math 8, you're going to get a description and a curriculum math for 4th quarter, which is what you need right now. I mean, your student is out of school, so you can continue on by Rough Math Online math courses here, classwork and homework sheets, quiz, tests, pacing guides, and the student will have to take a diagnostic test, which is about 25 minutes. They have to pass that to enter, or they gotta go somewhere else. I mean, I got way more kids who want in my course than seats, so I gotta weed them out. So they have to take a diagnostic test here, straight up. So let's describe these courses. Here we have a pretest. This is their pretest here. They'll have to take this. Actually, it's a pre-algebra chapter 11 mid-chapter quiz that they have to pass to get a seat in my online course. In week 1, we go right into polynomials here, and part 1, part 2 here. And then we have a homework, which they turn in online. Everything is virtual here, so they can turn all this in online. More polynomials, part 2, classwork, homework, class. And all these are videos or animated PowerPoints, which when you enroll, you'll get a password to it. And then adding, subtracting polynomials, part 1, part 2. And there's homework, which your students will take on their tablet, on their phone. They can do it on their phone, or if they wish, they can do a paper copy and take a picture of it on the phone and then send it in from their phone. And then week 2, this star here means there's a quiz. During week 2 there is a quiz, and we're multiplying and dividing polynomials here. More of that, multiplying, dividing, multiplying binomials, and this is all. Okay, so we get up through multiplying binomials here, and during week 2, week 3, we get into rules of exponents. So we get into rules of exponents. And then we get into quadratic functions here as well, part 1, part 2. And there is homework, which the students will be responsible for. And then week 4, we get into exponential growth decay. And we get into sequences down here. We got homework, part 1, part 2. This will be your classwork, and you can order a booklet which will have all these in paper, or you can access them online for free, and you can submit those online. But if you want a paper booklet, contact me for those. And then week 5, we have 2 tests here in week 5. We have chapter 12 tests, SVPO. And we go into 13.1 here and we start into chapter 13 during week 5. But we do have a test up here for chapter 12. And then we have a review and summary of chapter 12, part 1, part 2. And there is a homework for the review and summary of chapter 12, part 1. And then week 6, we get into angle relationships. We go back into geometry again here, and we have 13.2, lesson 13.2, and we have 2 parts of homework, and we have a classwork here, part 2, and then classwork here, part 1, which is about angles and parallel lines. So we go further into geometry here for your 8th grade math. And then week 7, we have a quiz for week 7, which is angles and polygons. And then translations, we get into translating geometric figures on a coordinate plane. And then 13.5, we get into reflections and symmetry. We reflect across axes. And then symmetrical geometric figures, all this done within a coordinate plane. So this is like a look-see into coordinate geometry. And then week 8, we get into reflections. And so we're rotation symmetry 13.6. And there is homework for that, for part 1, part 2. You can see all these lessons up on my YouTube site. If you go to Rough Math videos on YouTube, you can preview all these videos on YouTube, and PowerPoint will be available. If you enroll in my class, you'll have access to animated PowerPoints on PowerShow, and as well as tutoring. So you'll get covered whether your student wants to learn by video or animated PowerPoint. That's up to them. And then week 9, this is our week 9 curriculum here. Dilations of geometric figures, dilations 13.7. We have part 1, part 2, and then we go into our chapter 13 review and summary, classwork homework part 1, and then chapter 13 review and summary, classwork part 2 and part 3 as well. So you have homework. This homework will cover all part 1, part 2, and part 3. This homework will cover that. And then our quizzes here will be done in week 2. You have your first quiz in week 2. And then week 5, you have a test for chapter 12. There is a test on week 5. And then week 5 again, we have another part 2, chapter 12 test. So I divide this test up into 2 parts because it is a rather large test. And there is a review and summary for chapter 12 test, so the student has a good chance to review the concepts before they take the test. And then during week 7, there is a quiz for chapter 13. There is a mid-chapter quiz during week 7. And then week 9, there is a chapter 13 test. For chapter 13, there is a chapter 13 test. This is your review and summary, your classwork homework, then chapter 13 review and summary, classwork part 2 and 3. So there's a 3-part review for this test right here. And then I also include a makeup day during week 9, and then that way I can enter my grades once they finish the chapter 13 test. And that is Math 8, or 8th grade math, which includes 70 lessons. You get quizzes, you get tests, you get worksheets either by a booklet, which you can order, or it can all be done online, which is free. And you get online tutoring as well, which is included with your enrollment. Email me here for your interest. Thank you very much.